yesterday when someone brought something to my attention. And the issue was apparently someone did not like a comment that I made on another show. And basically, what I said was someone brought up a comment about transgender. And I, in turn, made a comment that in terms of people going through the transgender process, if you are a teenager, I thought that you should wait until you get older. And then I made the comment that I believe in the Bible, which I do, and God made man and God made woman. And I believe that God made us in his image. And apparently that person took offense to what I said. But I'm not even going to really get into that because that is a belief that I have. I believe in the Bible. I believe that if you want to go through a transgender process, I just think that you should wait until you're older because your body's changing, you're changing, to make sure that this is what you really want. And I also believe that teenagers should not get married because is this what you really want? Wait until you get older. Now, having said that, that person also said, made a comment to me, as a woman of color, I'm surprised you made that comment, I'm sorry, I left out the main word, made that racist comment. Now, as a woman of color, am I supposed to think a certain way because I'm a woman of color as opposed to being white or European or whatever, that as a woman of color, I'm supposed to automatically fit into this mold that you're a woman of color, you know what discrimination is, so therefore, I was not being racist or discriminating against anyone. I was stating an opinion. I was not putting down transgender people, okay? That is not what I do. However, I will always speak my truth and I will always have an opinion. If you don't agree with that opinion, that's cool, that's fine, but don't tell me that I don't know the facts or, I don't know exactly what is going on. And then you're just going to leave it there and kind of leave it hanging and not, express your view and make me understand exactly what are you talking about? What do I need to know? Enlighten me. I'm all for being enlightened. I'm for being enlightened by anyone. And as I was talking on my show yesterday, we were talking about Proud Boys. If you need to tell me something that I need to know about Proud Boys and why you guys feel that, you want to go off and storm the Capitol and have a white society or whatever, enlighten me. Tell me, why do you feel this way? If you want to speak your truth, that's fine. But I'm going to speak mine and don't pigeonhole me because I'm a woman of color. Okay, as a woman of color, I am probably more aware of most things. Women of color have been stereotyped, we've been pigeonholed, we have been put through the ringer on countless times. We're supposed to be strong, but then when we're the strong Black woman or women of color, then all of a sudden we're too militant, or, oh my God, she has this attitude, or, she's this or she's that. Sorry, I disagree. Okay, as a woman of color, we have carried so many things on our shoulders and we still are. But don't pigeonhole us. Don't pigeonhole me into thinking that I'm supposed to think a certain way because I have brain cells. I have my own thought process. And if I have an opinion, I'm going to give it. And as this person said, yes, God made man and woman, but he also gave us free will. Absolutely. He gave us all free will and he gave me free will to have an opinion. And he gave you free will for you to have an opinion. But I respect your opinion. I ask you to respect mine. I was not putting down anyone. Okay, you haven't heard me give a put down. Okay, I can give a put down, but that's not who I am. So if you're going to open up a door to something, and you want me to explain myself, then I expect you to do the same thing. Enlighten me, explain yourself, and close that door. If not, that door will always be open. So on that note, I would like to open it up. Does anyone have any comments or anything that they want to say? If not, I can keep going.
No, I think what I want to say about that is, and again, we may disagree here a little bit, Solid Blue, but I think the whole trans decision is deeply personal. So I don't know much about it to weigh in. Just like I feel like abortion is a deeply personal identity, or not identity, that's not the right word, but it's a deeply personal decision, choice. I do think there's a way to go about conveying how you talk to somebody, how you broach subjects. And I don't know what was meant by trying to use race in this situation, in that maybe the thought was that we would be a little bit more open, or having been through discrimination, that we would be just open to whatever, not so much whatever, but again, as you said, you have your opinion. Everyone has one. I think it just should have been phrased. It really should have been phrased differently. And, if someone says something that offends you, then confront it at the time. Don't wait and do it later. It's really hard to try and have a discussion, via, the Twitter, the back and forth. Emails can come across a different way than you intended it to. And then you have a chance to really go back and forth and discuss what your challenges are with that, or, as you said, to become enlightened. So I've seen it a few times before where folks have tried to pull me into something because I'm Black, that I should automatically feel a certain way or not feel a certain way. And I've done this myself, actually, having, as you talked about it. For instance, my brother is a Republican and voted the first time for you-know-who. And I was just like, my God, how could you vote for him as a Black man? How can you? And, again, his vote is his choice. And I've had that thrown back in my face, as you're Black. How could you, when I grew up in a very small town in Ohio. I went to an all-white school except for me and my brothers. And my dad was fiercely Republican. I know that sounds odd, but everywhere we went, we stood out, right? So within my family, my cousins, my uncles would be like, what is wrong with you all? You guys are crazy. Why are you on? How can you be a Black Republican and a Catholic? What is going on? And so having that, it's just very, again, it can make you feel diminished or dismissed, or, and thank God my brother came to his senses and fled the cult. And because we were starting to have discussions that it was like boxers. We were going back and forth. We kind of kept it light, tried to keep it cute, but it was starting to get a little bit serious. Like, it was starting to get personal. And I'm just glad that he recognized that my problem with the last administration was just the cruelty, the open, the openness to just go ahead. If you want to be cruel, go ahead and do it. I mean, he even said so much. Remember when he talked about, oh, and police officers, don't be so nice when you stick people in the car. Don't cover the back of their heads. Just, throw them in there. And, people just fed off of that. And I didn't understand, for me, how he, knowing what the numbers are for incarceration, that Black men get incarcerated more for, back, a small bag of weed or whatever, that is going to affect us more. I was just like unnerved. How dare you? How can you, as a Black man? And then I was like, if you tell me it's about your money because, he and his wife live a certain lifestyle, they worked hard for, then maybe I can understand, but please don't tell me that you see this man as having integrity, or you hold him to a lesser standard than you hold yourself as an attorney. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic, but
no, that's fine. This is a discussion, so topics do go from one to the other. So
it does. Yeah, I will ramble if you let me. But I did want to ask you something, if you don't mind. I know it's your show, but I wanted to ask you something.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Where do you find your peace place? Like, where do you go, especially like lately? You turn on the news, you hear about more shootings, Black men being shot, young girls getting shot, mass shootings, Tucker Carlson, some of the outrageous things that he says. Where do you go to find your peace place?
Honestly, what I do is I have a devotion that pops up on my phone every morning. It's one of the first things that I see. I'm not a Bible thumper or anything, and there are a lot of things that when I go to the pearly gates, I'm going to have to explain to God why I did what I did. But honestly, it's like I read that devotion every morning, and even some of the things that I send out to some of my friends, like some quotes and everything, that I get. That helps me, go to a peace place. But mentally, when I hear things and I see things and these shootings and everything, it's like, honestly, I just honestly just take a deep breath, and I just have to just say, somehow, some way, we've got to keep moving on. We've got to keep pushing on. And
Right.
I have to think that, hopefully that things will get better. I am an optimist. Some people may think that I'm not, but I am. And I always try to find the good in people. I'll always give you that chance first, whatever. Then if you blow that first chance, it's like, okay, but honestly, I guess it also comes down to just not only I have a great family. I have a wonderful husband. I have a wonderful son, but I also surround myself with good friends. And, over the last month, I've met some really good friends, and I've, opened up my heart and, allow new people to come into my life that I really, really like, that they're not negative, they're not positive. They're not negative. They're not bullies or anything. Everyone is positive, and even though I know that there are some friends who may not like some other friends because of certain views or whatever, for me, those people keep me sane. Those are the people that I can pick up the phone and say, I can rant whatever, and they can rant back, whatever. But at the end of the day, we all get each other, and we're all there to support each other. We're not, I don't want to sit around talking about other people, whatever, even though sometimes that does happen. But for the most part, most of the people that I know are willing to say, you know what, forget those people, whatever. Let's just move on and try to live our best life. And when things upset me, and you hear these shootings, which are, either the mass shootings or just another Black man or Black woman being shot, it's like just taking the breath, going to hug my child, literally, whatever, that he is still here, whatever, and just, just saying, God, just let me get through this. And then, you pray for the people who are affected by the violence that are out there, especially all these Black families who are being affected by their children being blatantly executed. But to come back to your original question, my devotion that I look at every morning, and again, like I said, I have some little sayings that I tweet out to friends, but just my friend circle. I have a really strong friend circle, and we can all tell each other about yourself. Sometimes they're like, Lisa, you shouldn't have said that, or you went there. Those are your friends. Those are the people that you need around you who will tell you about yourself. Okay, exactly. I'm one of those people who say, how does this, if you ask me, how does this dress look? And if I say, are you asking me how this dress looks on you? And if I don't think it looks right, I will tell you. Now, if you turn around and get upset with me, then this is me. I'm going to tell you what I think. If you think that I'm going to say something that you don't like, don't ask me. I'm not the person you want to ask.
Well, I will never go. I am not one of those
people who will automatically say, "Oh, that's a beautiful dress," or whatever. If you walk through a room, I will just say, "Hey, how are you?" and we'll keep on going. So, I mean, so hopefully that answers your question.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know if that interrupted our signal or not.
No. I mean, that's fine. But I will say that you did bring up a point, which I had not thought of, and you brought up a point where you said that, things are deeply personal for some people. So whether you're transgender, whether you're same sex, whether whatever, people have deeply personal reasons for doing what they want to do and why they want to do them. So I'm going to piggyback on that and say, and people also have personal reasons why they believe what they want to believe. So my thing is, again, don't sit up and call me a racist because I made a comment saying that, I believe that God made man and woman, because he did. It's in the Bible. I mean, he made us in his image, so those are my beliefs, but if you choose to go out and do something that I disagree with, I'm not going to stop you as long as you're not out there shooting people or harming my family or, whatever. More power to you. You do whatever you want to do. But again, this is my opinion. And I'm asking you to respect my opinion because I will respect your opinion. I may not agree with you. You may not agree with me, but this is my opinion. And I'm not going to apologize for my opinion. So.
I mean, you raise a good point in that it's not as though you personally went out and attacked somebody on a personal level and said, Solid Blue, you are, if anything, it was almost the reverse that happened, wouldn't you think? Calling you a racist.
I would think so, and it's like, while you're so busy saying that, I did this, and this, and this, and you're, putting up your fists and Black Lives Matter and this and this and this. And yeah, we include everyone. Are you excluding? Look at who you are. What are you doing? All these so-called woke people, and yes, I am staying woke, all these so-called woke people, it's like, take a look at what you're doing and what you're saying, whatever. Are you excluding, or are you including people? Because I mean, to take a jump and, it's like, I did not personally attack anyone, and I would never personally attack anyone. Only way I would personally attack someone is if you were physically attacking me and I'm fighting back, or you just totally just come at me with some outrageous stuff, whatever. But, we all have our biases, like I said in another show earlier this week, we all have our biases. We are not perfect, whatever, but I truly do try to respect everyone's opinions. And I watch a lot of different shows, and I'm involved in, a lot of different interactive shows and comments and stuff. And, people are disagreeing with me, and I disagree with them, or they agree with some of the things, that I say. But one thing that I do like is that if someone's going to disagree with you, whatever, they're just not going to attack you and then run. The people that I, talk to, they're willing to, have the conversation,
Right.
Lisa, what do you mean? Or I'm asking someone else, well, exactly what do you mean? And people have changed my mindset.
Right.
People have
Right.
changed my mindset, and my husband and I, earlier this morning, we had a conversation about transgender. My husband thinks the complete opposite of me, whatever. So does that mean because my husband thinks this way, I'm supposed to think this way? No, I respect what he thinks, and he respects what I think, and that's it. So I mean, at the end of the day, I'm an individual, and so
Right.
are you. And I'm not a robot who is going to, think everyone's thinking this way. Like your mother used to say, if everybody jumped over the cliff, are you going to jump with them? No, I'm going to say, see ya, bye-bye, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not that person. I've never been a follower. I've always been someone who, I was a nerd in high school, and I was not, I wasn't one of the popular people getting invited to parties and, what have you, like you. I went to a mostly all white school, high school through, I'm sorry, elementary school through high school. And then I went to a mostly white college, so I mean, I was always one of the only ones in the room, but I've never been
Right.
a follower, and I've never had a hard time or a problem with when my friends did want to go and do something, and I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to get in trouble, or I'm not going to do whatever, or I just don't want to do it. And they're like, oh, you're a chicken, whatever. Okay, walk, walk, walk. I sure am. See ya. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, talk about, that's one thing I did not know, that we had that shared experience about being the only going through school. So what was that like for you during that
It was,
time
I mean,
period?
I wasn't like the only, I mean, there were a few of us speckled here and speckled there, whatever. And then as the area around the school started to change, it did get more integrated. But, I mean, at times it was hard. And in fast forward now to where I live now, I live in a town that's about 65, 70,000 people.
Okay.
And it's mostly white, and it's mostly cops. I was one of the first.
Wow.
I was one of the first. Our city was incorporated in 2010. We moved here in 2003, and it was mostly cow pastures and what have you.
Right.
And wait, hold on one second. Okay, you're muted.
Me?
Okay, now. Okay.
Sorry, Terry. Charlie Perry is trying to get into the chat room.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
Okay.
Is he trying to get in on Zoom? I don't see him trying to get in. I don't see him trying to get in. Hold on one second. Let me. Okay, he should be able to get in with that passcode. So
I'm going to check the numbers and make sure he has the correct numbers. Okay.
okay, all right, that's cool. Okay, so no, but you know, I mean, it's, you know, we moved here in 2003. It was mostly cow pastures. There were no stores. It was literally cows. Now it's like shopping malls and what have you. And you know, you know, a couple of years ago, I'm, you know, going into the bank, and this car almost, you know how you're going from the parking lot, you got to kind of cross over the parking lot to get to the bank or whatever. And the cars are coming, and this car almost hits me. And I just kind of stopped in the middle, like, are you going to hit me, whatever? This kid, about 12 years old, yells out the window, "You're in the wrong neighborhood, nigger."
Oh, no. Oh,
I mean, about
wow.
12 years old. The mother, who is driving, starts laughing. And there was this Hispanic guy and this other Black guy who were standing there. And they heard the whole thing. And the Hispanic guy said, "What did you just say to her?" You know, whatever. And I'm saying to myself, I was probably here before any of you all were here in this neighborhood. You know, so
when did this was this recent?
No, this was let's see, it was a couple years ago. So this must have been what, 2017?
Okay, because I had a very similar experience just recently. I was driving down one of the main streets here I'm in the area, they call it Dublin, but it's just a little suburb of Columbus. And I'm in the left turn lane, first car, left turn lane, waiting for the left light to signal to come up, so I can make my left. And all of a sudden I hear wheels screeching, like it sounds like there's going to be an accident. So I'm like looking left and looking right, looking left, looking right. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that was about. So I turned back around and I look, and there's a car in front of me, a truck in front of me. And I was like, wonder how he got there, because I was there first. And oh well, didn't think anything of it. Was in a good mood outside in my car with my windows down, getting some fresh air. And this guy gets out of his car and starts walking toward me. And he's a young guy. And at the time, I just remember thinking, oh, I don't know. I remember just thinking, he looks like he has like some type of uniform on. Like, so I thought, well, maybe he's going to tell me, I know my back passenger door doesn't shut all the way. So I thought, okay, he's probably going to tell me, hey, by the way, your door isn't shut. But the closer he came to my car, like his stride kind of changed. I was like, uh-oh, danger, Will Robinson. And so he comes up to my window and he's like, "You stupid, oh, nigger." And I was like, what? And it's like, I have not been called, I mean, there have been a lot of things I've been called, but old, first of all, sir, how dare you? But I thought, I was just like, what the hell? And I didn't hear like anything else he said, but like he was just going on and on and on. So I was rolling up my window, just staring straight ahead. And cause I, you know, how did I was worried, okay, is he going to shoot me? How does he not know that I don't have a gun? I mean, honestly, the times we live in, it's a risk, right? So I just chose to roll my window up, and this man in a car next to me, I believe he was Hispanic, got out of his car and like told him to like go back to his car, and you know, they got into it. I was just like, oh my God, is this going to turn into something? Is this how I'm going to check out? And so he starts walking backwards, flipping us off, right? So the man next to me was like, kind of looked at me like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, it just rattled me. I was just like, what the hell? Is this like 1976? It feels like it. And so anyways, I didn't want to follow him because I would have been like following him, making that left. So the man next to me let me cut over, so I didn't follow him home. But I got locked in, and I was just it really shook me up to relive that. I mean, it was bad enough growing up that you would hear it. They would say it without, I mean, they said it like, yeah, that's my name, in the area that I grew up in. And it wasn't my classmates. It wasn't the folks that I went to school with necessarily. It was like,
okay,
let me
ask this. When you say that it wasn't your classmates and it wasn't the people that you went to school with, because like I said, I have been around white folks my entire life. And as you know, I consider myself a liberal moderate with conservative views. Okay. I'm not way left. I'm not way right, whatever. But I am going to ask you this. Have you ever been in a situation where people came, just your white friends that your classmates came really, really close to crossing that line?
Absolutely.
It's like they came right up to the bumper, but they didn't exactly touch it.
They would come right up to the bumper. And you could tell, like I even had one person that would say, is it okay if I say, call him a nigger? And I was like, what? No. How dare you? No. And it's just amazing. Like, I don't understand, like why it's still questioned. Why can't we say it? Why can't we say it? Well, why do you need to say it?
Well, first of all, I don't think we need to say it, but for you to even ask, why can't you say it? It just, to me, it shows a level of ignorance that,
absolutely,
it's like, it's that level of ignorance. Like, really, you're really going to ask me, this question. Do you remember MCI, telecommunications?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I used to work there, and I was working with this one girl who her cubicle was across from mine, and everything that the Black people did, she wanted to be part of. Okay, that's fine, whatever. So one day we're all just sitting around, and we're working, whatever, we're chatting, whatever, and she turns around, and I said something. I can't even remember what I even said, but she turned around and she said, "Nigga, please."
Whoa.
And I turned around, I looked at her, and I said, "What did you just say to me?" And she said, she repeated it.
Do I need to speak a little louder?
So there were three other Black people who worked in our little pod, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, this was like back in the 80s, whatever. And she said, and one of the girls said, "Do you really want to repeat that a third time?" And the girl was like, literally, I'm not going to say her name, whatever. And the girl, she was looking like, "I don't understand. What did I do wrong?" And this other girl literally said, "Stand up and let me put my foot in your ass, and then I will tell you, and you will know what you said wrong."
Drive that point home.
And it's like, that's where the ignorance comes in, whatever. So later on, after work, whatever, she pulled me to the side and she said, "I didn't mean to offend you, whatever." And I said, "You truly cannot not know what you were saying, because you didn't just say it once. You repeated it."
Yeah, when
I said, "What did you just say to me?" That was your clue to, button it up.
Recognize.
Whatever. So, it's like, are you saying this because, well, you're supposed to be cool and I'm down, whatever, and and that's why I have I don't like black people saying it, whatever. But you should know better. You're
Well,
crossing that
definitely by now.
bridge. Okay. No, 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 no. You don't go there.
Very true. I will confess, I never want to hear it come out of a non-person of color. And let me be more specific. Unless you are black, I don't ever want to hear it come out of your mouth.
Well, see, and I don't want to hear it, even if you are black, because that was a derogatory term that came from, slave owners and what have you, and that they've given to us. And what we're doing is we're perpetuating the stereotype by even using it. And I'm not giving you that power. I'm not giving you that power to use that word against me. Even if you're supposed to do it in fun and in jest or whatever, that is a powerful word, and it's a powerfully negative word. And again, everybody may not agree with me, whatever, but
yeah. And again, here's where we're probably going to disagree. I have my friends that are black. When we get together and we are silly and it's just us, and you know what I mean, just us, we will, start the kiki, and somebody might say it. I don't take offense, because I know it doesn't come from that same spirit of trying to weaponize, trying to cut me down and debase and make me that you think I'm less than human, as opposed to the original intent, right? So
see, and that's where I have to disagree. I mean, I understand what you're saying when you say that it's not coming from that bad place and they don't mean it in a certain way. But again, it's like my friends know, do not use that word with me at all. I mean, just don't say it in my house. Don't, because again, I think we are being hypocritical when we're saying, well, I don't want a white person saying it to me, but yet we're saying it against our own people. And that word came and was, it came from hatred. It was created out of hatred. And I'm sorry, you're not going to use that as a term of endearment towards me. There are many other words and phrases that you can use than that word, whatever. So I'm sorry, I have a problem with it, but that's just my opinion.
No, again, this is what a conversation looks like, right? We're not supposed to always totally 100% agree. You know what I'm saying? So, and
true,
we can
because
do
then it would be very boring.
It would
very
be
boring.
if I just have to, I was like, oh yes, I agree. You're totally right. It would just be, it would be dull. And, that's what makes the world go round, I guess. There was something else I wanted to ask you, or I was going to mention to you. I did write down some, this is way off topic, but I thought this was interesting. Do you like Dave Chappelle at all? Or
I'm sorry, do I like who?
Dave Chappelle, the comedian. Are there any comics? Who's your favorite comic?
I mean, honestly, when I see Dave Chappelle is when I'm downstairs and my husband's watching TV and my husband's, watching him. I don't go out of my way to watch him. He's not someone, that I'll say, oh, the Dave Chappelle show is on, let me watch it. So I can take him or leave him.
That's funny. Again, we disagree because I think he's brilliant. I think his comedy is intelligent. Like he puts things, the way he weaves a story, and he's able to get a point across at the end of the joke, and then like he'll bring it back around to his original joke, and then you laugh, and then you sit back, you're like, huh, wow, that was me, or that was meant for somebody else. Like he had a skit on the Chappelle show that I thought was, again, you're not going to like this. It was a skit.
Is he saying the N word?
He it was actually called the N-Word Family. And the joke was, in the skit, was that this family, that was their last name, but they happened to be white. And so it was, he played like the milkman, and the milkman like came and he's like, yeah, I really hate to bother you, but I know how you N-words don't like to pay your bills on time. So yeah, you're a little bit late with your bill. So, I mean, it was just, I don't know. I just thought it was really brilliant that to see, I don't know. I'm not really able on that.
Now I'm going to have to go and look up some of his old shows. I mean, I don't actively not watch him. It's just that he's just not somebody that's on my radar, that I watch. I mean, honestly, if I were to tell you that the things that I watch, I like to watch history. I love, absolutely love black and white old 30s and 40s shows. And one
you
of
are
my
a little nerd.
Seriously, I am. And one of my, and now I'm really going to make you probably use the term, as a Black woman, you're watching that. My favorite movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. I have two.
I'm catching my pearls.
I have three. Okay. Olivia de Havilland is my favorite actress. Okay. I don't know if you know who she is, whatever. My favorite movie of hers is The Heiress, which she won an Academy Award on. Love it. You can watch that movie over and over. But my two absolute favorite movies of all time, number one is The Sound of Music, and number two is The Adventures of Robin Hood with Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland from 1937. I love that movie.
Oh no, that's
so yeah. I am a nerd.
I'm not clutching my pearls. I thought you were going to say something else. I was worried you were going to say like Gone with the Wind or something.
No. I mean, because even now when people say, what movies do you like, or what movies are you watching, whatever, I'm watching those movies, and I also love period pieces. I love movies, that you're talking about the 1800s and what have you. I love those. I can watch them over and over and over.
Wow, that's interesting. That's very interesting. You really do like history.
So and I like all kinds of history. I mean, from Chinese, where you look back and you just see how long, the Chinese empire, whatever, how long they've been around. It's like, America, we have the capital, and we have this and we have that, but it was just about 200, 300 years old. But you go back to some of these places, British and all this other stuff, where they are just steeped in history, but then again, you also see, like America, they're steeped in violence. It's like, they, you look at the UK, a lot of the stuff, that the royalty owns or what have you was stolen. So
right.
But I've just always been fascinated, with where things are and how things, came to be. But Black history, I've just growing up, I've always just been exposed to it, and I always try to make sure that that I know what is going on. And unfortunately, with Black history, we usually stop when it comes to Martin Luther King.
Right.
It's like, can we go further than Martin Luther King? Can we talk about W.E.B. Du Bois? Let's talk about Nat Turner. Let's talk about how he propelled the movement. Let's talk about Sojourner Truth. Let's talk about the Amistad and all these other, places and the royalty that came out of Africa. I mean, there's just so much, you look back at Moses and what have you. That's Africa. These people, they look like us. When Jesus when Jesus was born, he had hair of wool. He wasn't blonde, looking like Robert Redford or whatever. He came out looking like us. The continent
Not over there
of
in that sun.
Africa. That's where everything started. So like I said before in some of my other shows, no matter how you try, whatever, no matter where you go, you're going to trip over one of us. Okay? You are.
Well, yeah.
And you probably got one of us is probably one of your cousins. So,
right. Exactly. So. It was funny because somebody asked me at work one time, can I ask you something? I was like, here we go. What are you going to ask me? And I know you said at the beginning that that you are very open and very friendly and all those things. And I tend to have my guard up. You know what I mean? I try to, until I can see like where you're coming from, my guard is up because, and my son mentioned this to me that, Mom, you're always like giving people like the side eye, like, I don't know if I can trust him. I don't know. He's giving me Trumper vibes. And I was like, do I really? And I sat back and I was like, yeah, I do. I guess I give people you get one bite at the apple. And once you're done and, there's no going back, you cross that line, it's hard to get back over that, once that line's crossed. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be a hard, long time before you get another chance to dig at me again.
And see, that's why I say that for me, it's like I'm willing to be open and give you the benefit of the doubt. But then when you cross that line, then I'm like you, where, okay, I let you in and this is what you did, because I have been burned by a lot of people. I have been burned by a lot of people. We all probably have, whatever, but I'm always willing to, say, hey, how are you? Because I do think that I'm a friendly person. I think that I'm a nice person. I know that I'm not always nice to everyone, because some people have crossed that line. Some people, it's like, now you need to just stay over here. And there are some people who I have literally said, don't talk to me anymore. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. Don't talk to me. So, and I've had people who have said some really ignorant and hurtful things to me where I've turned around and said, okay, you want to go through that door? I'm going to go through that door and I'm going to follow you. And I have said some mean and hurtful things to people where literally I know I have cut to the core, so it's like, if you want to do that to me and you want to talk about me or my family or, whatever, okay. But always remember one thing with me, you open the door, I'm walking through, so when you say those who live in glass houses should not throw stones, I believe that. Don't sit up here and talk about somebody and then, you don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. So that's why, again, going to that calm place, whatever, it's just like, at times you just got to say, I'm going to hang up the phone now because conversation is not going anywhere, or I'm going to thank you for the coffee, but I'm going to go and get in my car and I'm going to drive home or whatever, or, thank you for saying happy birthday to me, but you just took it to another level. Gotta go, whatever. And
yeah. And I feel like I'm sure because I am so guarded and because I only let people get the one swipe, that I have probably done a disservice to myself. Like I probably should have, engaged a little more, and maybe try to salvage or see if I could like rehabilitate the whole relationship as opposed to just, I'm done. Not going to take your calls anymore. Got you blocked. But and I'm just I'm trying to teach my son. It's funny because I see myself now in him, you know, where he is guarded and, you know, he is the type, he is very much like my mom, where my mom was, you know what, before you get a chance, let me cut you to slices. Now go ahead and speak. And she, they would hate to see her coming up to the school. Those nuns, they would just, that little woman she was just hell on wheels. She didn't take any mess. She took no mess. I remember one time, my brothers, I had two brothers, they were twins. They played football. One brother was better at football than the other brother. And one of the coaches said something rude, just something nasty to my youngest brother, the one that wasn't as good as the middle, or my middle brother. And so he had mentioned it to my mom, and so she just filed that away. And at the end of the game, she went down, marched out on that field, that football field. It was a varsity game. Marched out on that field and tapped the one coach on the shoulder, and then caught the eye. You know, he was trying to trot it off. You know how they try to trot off the field. He made the mistake of looking back, like who was it? Saul's wife, who looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. But he made the mistake of looking back, and she like crooked her finger and told him to come here. She didn't say a word. Man, she lit him up. My brothers said they were just like, my God. I was like, so she told them basically, you know, basically my boys are your team. And if you can't treat both my boys the same, then you will have no team, because quite frankly, I don't want them to play anyway. So I have no problem with taking them off the team. And the one guy tried to defend himself. She put her hand up, said her piece, and walked away. And then he said something, I don't know what made him try that woman. But she spun back around and she lit him up. I mean, eventually, like they said, my friends later on would tell me, when we'd see your mom's car parked in front of the school, we were like, ooh, I wonder what teacher starts her mom's lighting up today. But they would hate to see her coming. And
but
so,
you know, but that's also good that you had, you know, a parent, you know, that did that, because my mother, literally kindergarten through 12th grade, she was up at school for me. Mm-hmm. Every single year for something that I did or said. And even though she took up for me when she was at school, I heard it when I got home.
Oh,
you know, but she always,
absolutely.
you know, but I always had that parent that was sticking up for me. So that's good that that you had a parent that did that.
Well, it's just funny because like my dad was probably a little more imposing, you know, if you think about it, but they were just terrified. He was like the reasonable one, I think. But they were terrified of her because she just did not take any mess. And like my son is that way. Like he will rip somebody to ribbons and then that's it. He's done. And so yesterday he, I don't know, I think it was some new friend of his. I mean, you know, he's got a lot on his mind anyways, so it wasn't a good day. But I heard like him, like this conversation, they're like, no, wait, what I'm trying to say. He's like, nope, I'm done. You hear me? I'm done. Don't call me anymore. Don't call me anymore. Don't text me. I'm done. And I was like, what was that all about? He's like, he didn't want to talk about that. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so then later on, he told me, I said, wow. I said, you went off all that just for that little thing? It was something minor, but again, without going into what he's got going on.
Right.
I was like, you might want to take a second and, take a step back and rethink that. He's like, what would you have done? He said, what would you have done? I said, I would have been pissed, but he said, you would be done, right? He's like, I see you've cut people out of your life. Like, okay, yeah, I'm done. I won't, like I said, one bite at the apple, but I don't.
Okay, so
tend
let me
to-
ask you this. What would it take for someone to get 2 bites out of the apple?
That's for someone to get 2 bites. They probably have to be a blood relative.
Now, see, those are the 1 bite people for me, the relatives. They're the 1 bite people. Even they may even get a half a bite.
Half a bite. Don't even chew it. Spit it out.
Don't even chew it. That's right. Just go. Yeah.
Spit it out. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know that many have made it back. I don't think many have made it back.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Something I'm not real proud of, because I think that limits me. I told myself at the beginning of this year, are we out of time? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to chat.
No,
your whole hour.
we aren't. I've been watching time. Go ahead. No.
I told myself at the beginning of this year that I'm not going to just sit and complain, that I'm confined pretty much to the house because, COVID. So instead of sitting around complaining, what can I do to help? So that's been my motto. How can I help? How can I help? So it has been a bit of a challenge, because sometimes you overextend yourself. You know what I mean? I've overextended myself a few times where I just get really, like for example, in Ohio, they are going to lift, or I don't know if it's the whole rent thing, the eviction.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go ahead and start processing those.
Well, that law, the judge, federal judge, one of the former guy's appointees overruled the CDC. So that's going to be across the board that they can now, so now landlords can now really actively, aggressively start going after people.
And man, that hurts me to my heart. Like, I just feel so bad because number one, I think we're going to be facing like a major housing crisis. So we're in the middle of this pandemic. I don't know that we are as far along as we like to think we are with this vaccine. I mean, I'm going to be treading very carefully because I know my health issues and I know I cannot afford to get sick, nor can my son afford to get sick. So, I am not anxious to go running back out and sitting in a restaurant. I mean, I keep hearing people say, oh, that's the first thing I'm going to do is sit in a nice restaurant and eat. And after seeing how fast and far germs spread, I don't know that I'm going to be able to go outside without a mask ever again. I mean, I will be
one of those people from China who they started after SARS. They all just kept wearing them. I will be wearing a mask probably until 2040. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. So let me ask you, are both you and your son fully vaccinated?
I am. He is not. And that's about to change, just because he had a friend. He's got some other things going on, so he needs to be extremely cautious. And then a close friend of his, one that he hasn't cussed out and said he's done with, said that he's currently in the hospital with COVID. On a ventilator. Yeah, wow. He's on a ventilator, young guy. So he's pretty shook up. So now he's going to, because at first he's like, I don't know, Mom. I just think they put that together too fast. And I'm like, oh my God, he sounds just
but
like
you know
me.
what though? I mean, depending upon if he's going away to school, because I know in order for my son to get back into the dorms this September, his school has said in order to come back, you have to be fully vaccinated, and they have now. The school now has a vaccine, in the health center for people who, for students who have not whatever. But I've noticed that a lot of schools across the country are basically saying the same thing. If you want to come back, you get vaccinated. And I'm to the point where I mean, honestly, I don't even let people in my house. It's like we are outside, and now if you do want to come in my house, yes, you have to show your card.
Show your
I'm
card.
sorry, and you can, and somebody say, are you kidding me? I'm like, it's my house. We're not talking about going into a federal building where you can hold up a sign or whatever. If you want to pick it in front of my house, that's fine. But if you want to come
Right.
into my house, you are
Right,
going to prove to me that you are vaccinated. I'm
not
and
strapping
it's
that
not
all up in
even
my
the
house.
fact that that even with we're vaccinated and what have you, and we're still wearing masks. The thing that's scary is now all these variants are out there, and these variants are out
absolutely.
there, and it's like, okay, well, my vaccination was this, so now I'm going to get that, just like the flu vaccine changes every year because the flu migrates, whatever. So again, people just need to realize we are so close. Just get the damn vaccine and just come on, so we can all just have some semblance of normalcy or whatever. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
But and we're probably out of time because I had something else I wanted to bring up, but that's okay for another day.
Well, tomorrow is Friday, so I have one more show until the end of the week, until we start up again next Monday. But I do appreciate you guys coming, and I'll have to check my comments on YouTube, because people leave comments, but they don't want to come in. So
they probably said your guest chatted too much today.
And another thing, let me just put this out here. I know I have 2 YouTube channels. I have Solid Blue Sister, but this show is supposed to be on Solid Blue Sister, and you have to put in My Turn to Talk. So you put that in, then you should be able to listen in and what have you. And I am having someone help me this weekend to make sure that I can be on Zoom and still interact with the YouTube chat, whatever, because I cannot see the YouTube chat. I see it sometimes after the fact, whatever, but so I'm not able to see it, but someone's coming this weekend to help me because I'm not tech savvy like that. So whatever.
Well, but my hat off to you for taking the plunge and doing this. I mean, not everybody has the courage to put their face. Obviously, you see, I'm not putting my face out there because I am not hair worthy of being on camera. Since
that's why you got the
rained
hat.
upon, but yeah, I couldn't find. I was so mad when the weather started to get warm because I was like, oh, now I've got to get back in the hair routine. I was just used to, putting a little moisturizer in, washing it up, moisturizing it, and pulling it back. But now it's warm, so. But anyway,
well, this is something that I have been wanting to do for probably about the last 7 months, and I've had just so many things, going on. I'm in the process of my, I lost my dad in 2018, and he worked for the United States Post Office, 45 years, never, ever missed a day of work, ever.
Oh, wow.
And working in Chicago through all the snow and everything, never miss a day of work. And I'm in the process of working with some federal people trying to get something for my dad. So it's just a lot of things that I have, that are going on. But this is something that I wanted to do because you can only type so much, and things don't always convey the way you want them to when you're typing words, whatever. And I wanted to have an interactive conversation with people. So again, I'm really hoping to grow this. I appreciate you guys coming on. So I'm not talking to myself and giving a commentary every day, whatever, even if you're just sitting back, chilling and listening, I don't have a problem with it. I just appreciate that you showed up or you're calling in, whatever. Just know that from really, truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Well, I thank you. I appreciate you letting me share your show for today.
And one thing, when I play my music, do you all hear the music and see the intro?
I hear the music. I'm trying to think if I see the intro. I need.
All right.
I like the music.
Okay, Cheryl, do you see the intro slide?
I think I was a little late today.
Okay, but did you hear the music?
Oh, I did. I did.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, all
I
right, okay.
absolutely did.
Okay, I just need to know what I need to work on, whatever, because I was trying to watch it once on my iPad, but I guess because it's the same sign on, you can't necessarily always do that,
Yeah,
whatever. So, but okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. And
thank you.
I will see
Yeah,
you
thanks.
guys tomorrow. Because there'll be more stuff to talk about. There'll be more stuff to talk about. All right, ladies.
All right, lady.
Thank
I'll
you
talk to
so
you later.
much. All right, bye.
All right. Bye.